Mute every. I don't know. Well, the noise is not too bad. Hi, everybody. Reason for this is we're having a push on the panel. Obviously, we're doing a bunch of advertising over the next month or two. We feel that the panel product is fairly mature. I know a number of you have already sold panel, so you've got some familiarity with it. I think in general, the salespeople, we need to help sales get a better level of technical expertise. We are selling a relatively technical product, and panel does have some concepts that aren't very obvious simply when you look at it from the survey point of view. So we wanted to get everybody up to speed, and it'll be great to take this recording. Panel as a product relative to our target group comes in when people, and this happens with a number of companies, have a list of people who might be subscribers to the magazines. They may be current clients. It can be anything like that. It's usually people that they want to keep in contact with. And there has been a great movement within survey and market research recently to build communities. And essentially what they mean there is that they have a bunch of people that they keep in regular touch with and do a bunch of surveys on. And we do have some clients who are panel clients. I think the best one I can think of is Pure Profile. And I would suggest that you go and join the Pure Profile panel simply because it's a great example of a very well-run panel available out there today. A more traditional panel is actually run by Synovate, who are now part of Ipsos. If you go to globalopinionpanels.com, you can join that panel. That's an example of a panel that has issues. Our panel management software obviously falls in the lower end of the marketplace, which is good. We're aiming for people who've got a few thousand up to maybe 1 million, and that does happen, people that they want to keep in touch with. And as you know, it's very well integrated with Survey Analytics, and we feel there's a great opportunity there to increase the sale price, obviously, and that means more commission for you guys. If you've got any queries about, the business aspects and sales and that kind of stuff, please email me. I'll be happy to have another meeting to just discuss it in general. So now I'd like to hand over to Esther. Are you starting? Rudley? No clue.
If Redley doesn't have anything to say, I don't know, maybe you want to give us just kind of overview of what's going on in MicroPanel. I think that would be kind of nice just to kind of give us a sneak peek as to how business is going and what you're seeing, and then we can jump into just quick demos. Richard.
Yeah, I think Andrew probably mentioned everything I needed to mention here. As far as the micro panel, obviously the department is still growing in its infancy, and we've made a lot of changes to the platform because I was one of the first users and kind of helping the developers get it to where it is today, and I could say it's in great shape. Only thing I'd probably add right now as it relates to micro panel is regarding the demos that you do as far as what works for me. I think people have their own styles. They can be very short and brief. Here's what it does, and let me send you a proposal. That doesn't work for me. If that works for you, that's great. As far as what works for me is to be very comprehensive with your demos. And by comprehensive, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to every single feature. And in fact, you may want to stick to the features that you are comfortable with that works. But most often you will find two clients, one who really knows what they're talking about when it comes to online panels, and those you have to really be careful with as far as what features you show them, and those who are not really very savvy with regards to the concept of panel management. But overall, you want to show some of the basic settings, which, what's critical, I would say being able to set up your panel on the fly. That's usually a good selling point for me. The ability to import users in bulk with relative ease, the whole do-it-yourself service when it comes to panel management platforms. That's kind of what I would focus on as far as staying on target, quick reports, viewing the totality of panel members and in dashboard views. Those are the type of things that clients wants to see without having to get into in-depth, querying and analytics on the back end that maybe an IT person may have to do. And having said that, I will leave it up to Master John and put myself on mute.
Thank you, Redley. Thank you. I think Esther said that Redley was that I was, a grand user of this, and I would say I'm second of knowledge to Redley, and thank Redley for all his support on helping me get used to the tool and learning it more. But first and foremost, for the most part, how most of that was achieved was by asking questions and actually jumping in and working with the tool. What I'm going to do for you guys as sellers is kind of show you some of those key places, things to point out, and how the setup kind of flows. That'll help you have a good start and a good grasp of getting the client going as far as in the demo process. But as well, I highly encourage, and I think Esther's setting out an initiative that sometime this month, each of us set up a demo panel in the Demo 101 account. So we each have the time to play with it, create one, but also have something to show clients as well inside of the demo client when we demo account once we get to the panels tab. Or if you're specifically just selling panel, you can go right to that and have 4 or 5 available to show off quickly. Okay. So here's my account here. I have this music producer panel that I've created. So as you all know, creating a new panel is as simple as clicking panels and then clicking create new panel. Once we click create new panel, we're going to give our panel a name. So mine was music producer. My heading is music producer panel, and then my URL was music producer. Most URLs that clients come up with probably will not be in use, but if they do something like, if I typed in test here, I'm pretty sure that test has been taken already, etc. So let's just do milk. This is my milk panel, okay? So the from email address, whatever email address here is going to be the admin email address, as well as the email address that emails go out from. And then we can change the from name here, so the milk panel or etc. Once we click finish, our panel URL is active and the portal's live. Of course, we haven't advertised the link yet, nor has nor have we imported members or started trying to gather members, so we don't have to worry about anyone registering unless they're really scouring the web for panels. Okay. So once I did all that, of course, I have my music producer panel here. I click music producer panel and I'm taken right into the settings. So this is going to be one of the key areas in development and for the sales people and showing off to the clients and when you start setting up your panel. We have our website URL here. Again, we can change this. And the website URL is going to take them right to this landing page here. Here we can put in detailed text right here, different headers across here for them to click in and get more information. And then, of course, right here they can log in or go ahead and get started and sign up for the panel. And we only require here from this surface the first name, last name, email, password, and verifying the password. The second link you have here is your recruitment. The recruitment link actually takes them just to the recruitment panel, and it actually also has the profile if you have any specific member profile setup that you're capturing up front. Okay, so that's kind of the difference between those two links. And for the purposes of this, I'll just show you that link real quick. Okay, so as you can see on this link, I get the header and all that, but the background image is gone, and if I had any text, etc. But I get my profile field, so they can select their profile fields, first name, last name, email address, and then password. And then boom, they're into the system. Okay. We can change the name of the panel here if we need to change the header. Simple. Site HTML. This is where we start to jump into the customization, and it's good to point out to clients that yes, you can customize your panel. There are some things you can do to separate yourself from the crowd, or as Redley said, this can be really on the fly. We can go ahead and just change some simple things and be ready to start recruiting for our panel, start kicking out surveys, and start getting new members. But if the client wants to go in more in depth and change some things around, they definitely can. Now, just on the minimum and basic level, headers, we can go ahead and change our header image. Footers, of course, that's self-explanatory, just like, in surveys. Homepage. Here's where we can place the text and even HTML on our homepage. We just need to type in, let's just say welcome here for now. And if we had HTML, then we'd want to enable, say the selection text contains HTML. Now, we can make the home page, we can make this available on the footer link as well, or even, you know, and on the main tab. Let's say save changes, just so you can see that in real time. We'll refresh here. So you can see that text that I placed, which is welcome, is now on my home page. And so any text that you place in that field is going to appear in this area. Okay. Terms of use, we have some default jargon in there. Clients can change it for their own terms. They can use what we have in here. They can make this available in the main tab of the footer as well. Okay. So all these items can be clicked on and off and displayed up front or hidden. And that goes the same for contact, the privacy policy, frequently asked questions, the about. So I'll show you that real quick. If I want this on the main tab, click Save Changes. Okay. Now the about is up there. In my design of mine, I decided not to have an about, so you can see my image. You know, I made it fit in that area. Okay. Go here and turn that off. So for the medium-low user, most of the things that they will probably work around with will be the things under this portal header, and where they would go in and enable or place the buttons on their main page or do any customization there. For the more advanced users, one of the cool features that we do have, and which has come about, is the CSS style sheets. And this is where they can customize their page, similar to what I've done on mine. I know I saw in the MicroPanel digest, there's going to be some more information to help a user understand what this code is and which areas it reflects to in terms. I mean, you can kind of understand right here, the top of this code is footer. So anything you change here is going to reflect to the footer. Anything you change here is going to reflect to the panel portal, you know, the web app center, etc. But we're going to add some more details so it makes a little bit more sense to that user. But then again, most people, you know, it's good to have the help files there and etc. And then keep in mind, they'll probably, you know, they'll have a dedicated account manager who can help them out with more of this. So you can see here, I've done some CSS hacks on my panel where I've changed the opacity of the member portal. I've done some text shadowing here, of course some color changes, background image, etc. on my background color. So that's how we got the color to orange. We did orange on the buttons, and so of course in the image that I uploaded from my background here into the system, just use Photoshop, pulled in the images, and I wanted the image to take up the full page and be able to see what's going on behind here. So that's why I changed and made this more opaque, basically a lighter transparent orange so you could see the background. Okay. Header image, and put an image in the footer as well. So really truly able to customize it more so than what's right out the box. And you can see here I also added an image in this section as well. And then just a little usability, you know, tap into the pulse and then an arrow down, so kind of makes it visualize so they can look across and then go down and go ahead and put in their information. Because this text data was gray, I did a shadow effect on it. Okay. So there's a lot of customization that can take place. I would say, you know, as a salesperson, just let them know, hey, there's CSS, you know, CSS style sheets. You can do some customization, and you can show them a basic panel and then show them a customized panel, and then kind of leave it at that. Not get too in depth into that. You probably, you know, do more things under the portal here, such as, you know, here's where you can change your header, here's where you can type in the text, and that will, you know, that'll be great for, you know, the high level, but also allow some details as well. Here we can change our theme. We have different default themes. I know I haven't tested these lately. A couple of these themes weren't functioning at the time, but that is something that's under our radar, and we'll make sure that all themes are functioning correctly. Website logo. They can import their logo, and that's going to appear up top in the banner. Now, if they just do a simple logo, it would just be kind of right here, and the background would be all blue, our standard colors. What I did here is I made the image fulfill the full size, which you see here, 960 by 125 pixels, so that I had full background color control. We have customized site behavior. These are actually some cool things to show off. You know, Facebook integration. We can enable an activity stream so that, you know, people coming in can see who's joining and, you know, kind of see that the panel's active and members are rolling in. But also all these things can be disabled. So, you know, if you show a panel up front before you get here and you have any of these things enabled, some clients are going to be like, oh, I don't want them to integrate with Facebook. And you say that's great because you can turn that off. We can enable a map and also the LinkedIn integration as well. And that will all appear on the front page. Google Analytics, if they have a Google Analytics account, they just need to enter in their GA account code, and then data will roll back into their GA account. If they're not using Google Analytics, then this is not probably going to be that important to them. If they are, then, you know, score, they're going to know what that means. They're going to know, great, I'm going to be able to roll some data back there, analyze it against my website, etc. Sampling portal. This is a great feature for those who are trying to really monetize their panel and allow the ability for other people to sample their panel and run surveys through their panel. This allows them the ability to create a homepage for that. Okay, and I'll just quickly just show the help file for that because it gives good pictures. So they would go in, say, hey, I want this response count, this number of questions, the survey length is this, and here is the URL link and my email address. Okay, that information and data will come to the panel admin. The panel admin will be able to go in there, assess that, and get back to them with a quote, and, you know, and run that survey for that potential client. So, you know, depending on your client, this may be a key feature that you want to throw out there, or a money-making opportunity for them, because, of course, we want to show them, hey, you're spending money with us, but, hey, we also want to help you make some money. So, you know, who doesn't want to make some? So, good thing that, you know, another quiver you might want to throw out if you like. So after I've done my panel settings, done my customization, checked out my site behavior, where I want to go, you know, the site's ready. People can start logging in. So the next best thing is the member profiles. Okay, the panel member profile fields, you see here I got music genre, profession, zip code, and gender. One thing to keep in mind in the profile panel member fields is if they're going to be doing some segmentation, then a little thought needs to go in here into the type of field that they're adding. If I do add new profile field, and let's just say income for now. Okay. I'm just totally blowing that. Okay, income. I do know how to spell people. Okay. Field type. So they can do multiple choice. Date and time, free form, which is a large text description or single select, and then zip code, you know, by location. Multiple choice single select is the fields that we can segment on when sending out our invitations and segmenting our panel. So, for instance, if you know you're going to be doing segmentation on income or gender or any key things, they want to make sure that they make that a single select question type. And you can correct me if I'm wrong there, Redley, but I think that is that's right. So that's just some forethought in when showing that, and that may be something that you would want to say to your advanced user if they're talking to you about segmentation, etc. That's the step they're going to want to.
Yep, that's correct, John.
Thank you, Redley. We can force validation, making it a required item, of course. We can make private hidden fields, and private hidden fields are great. If a client's coming in with data and they're going to take the time to format it and import it, and they just want those fields in there as well, but they don't want the user to know that, you know, it's in there in their profile, they can make those hidden. Okay, so we can hide any field as well. Confidence score, that's there, you know, that's something that you can point out, that they can set a score on these different things in order, you know, they can get a quick look and, you know, assess the confidence in that member based on the detailed information that they're giving up front this kind of lets us know, hey, you're giving income, you're giving all this information, you're active in this, and you're doing a little bit more than a guy who's just putting in his email and name in order to get his points and get his Amazon gift cards.
Hey, John or Rudley?
Yeah, John, that confidence score is vaporware.
Oh, is it? Nice. Well, thank you for the vaporware.
It's one of those features I would stay away from.
Hey, I sold it, right?
Oh, I sold it many times, but I'd stay away from it.
All right, everybody, don't sell the vaporware, okay? I'll show you another place of
John or Rudley?
Go ahead, Greg.
Just a simple question. On those hidden fields, if they are uploading a membership list, they can upload, what you're telling me is they can upload additional data they've got on those potential members and either force them to join or automatically accept them or have them accept them. But the panel member would never see those fields, but they could use them later to, I just want to make sure I understand this, they could use them later to segment out their panel, a smaller section of the panel.
Right, as long as it's single select. So sometimes, I'm going to tell you this now, I've ran into this with a lot of clients, they may have done a profiling survey or something very robust, and a lot of those fields, first and foremost, are not, without a lot of massaging, is not going to import into the system. But also, if they would have to change it to a single select in order to do segmentation on it. So yes, the ability is there, but if they have a huge database and a lot of profiling questions, or if they ran a profiling survey, it's going to take a little bit of time to get that list together and get it massaged to get into the system.
Thank you.
Welcome. And thanks, Red, for the vaporware. We do have the knowledge bank questions, which we've added, and you guys may have seen this on the survey platform as well. This allows to add some quick profile questions. These are all single select. I can just click here that I want these, click add fields, and boom, I have some new profile fields, and I'm ready to go with that. So gender, marital status, smartphone here. They're all single select. That means that I will be able to segment sending out my invitations on these questions. Okay. Now, a nice feature that we have is the profiling surveys. So you're going to run into, probably your more advanced people who are going to want to do some more profiling, or they're going to want to append some profiling later on in the future, and this is where they would do that. And so basically you're creating a survey with profile fields. This profiling survey, they can give points for taking the profiling survey, and as well it will appear in their My Surveys in the member portal. Okay. I've talked to Shri about also seeing if with that we can do a notification type of thing that allows members to know, hey, there's a new, instantly let them know that, hey, there's a new profiling survey in there, please take it. Otherwise, you can just do a standard invitation or do a broadcast blast to let them know that, hey, there's a new survey, a new profile member survey, or profiling survey within your members panel. Okay. In default surveys, this survey attaches to any survey that they have in their survey analytic accounts. You can do more than one, okay? And so you can have a default survey in here that once they log into the system, they automatically see that survey and they can take that survey. Of course, all that data from that survey gets kept in the reporting side on the SA platform. So one key thing to know is, the profiling data and et cetera and all that's happening on the member portal and on the panel is in its own database. The survey information, everything that takes place on QP or survey analytics, that happens in that database. They currently do not talk to each other, except for the fact we can add joining the member portal on the survey analytics side, and we can send surveys on the panel side. And the reason why I bring this up is a lot of clients, if they've been on another platform or they've done other things, or they just, they have their own vision of how this is going to work, think that they can create a survey, put 1 million profile questions in there, and all that's going to get appended and updated on the panel side. That's not how it happens, and that's one reason why we have the profiling surveys, when you decide you want to do something specific to profiling and you want to get that information and you want those to append to that member's profile. Okay. I'll go over real quick email preferences. And this is kind of where your global email is, and you can change this. But most importantly, when doing the bulk import, you want to make sure that you do not have this feature on, unless you really want to. With this enabled, it's going to automatically send this email out to all those members that you import to have them double opt-in. Okay. But if you know your list is already legit, they've already opted in, and etc., make sure this is not enabled. And so when you do your bulk import, it will not automatically send an email out to all the members. Okay. This is where we can set up for our refer a friend, panel health here, and administrator for notifications. So by default, I'm set up here, and then I can do my fulfillment. My fulfillment email is for the rewards and points, and we're going to talk about that right now. This is going to be another key thing to show as a seller maybe. So points and rewards, I know everyone has had a lot of questions about this, about how the inventory works. So as you can see here, yes, you can create your own inventory, you can create your own item. Here I have a candy bar, receive a Twix candy bar mailed to you, and I've done its own image. They have to do it for 25 points, and the items I have in stock is 4. Okay. Now, I think what's been throwing everyone off in the past is this kind of the UI thing here and the Amazon gift card. So if I do add new reward and I do Amazon gift certificate, right? Do that by default and I hit save. I have it here now. I want to add this item. We put the denomination here in the purchase. Well, currently right now, and Shree's working on this, this link is broken. So I have brought this up. He's looking into this, and soon we will get this working. So we're offering some defaults to some online currencies, some things that are easy to handle, such as Amazon, because Amazon can handle the fulfillment. You know, once they go and redeem it, it will let Amazon know. Amazon will get the gift card out to them. An email will come to you and let you know that that person has redeemed the reward, and, you know, done deal. We're not a fulfillment center, as Redley always says. So if I'm doing the Twix bar, you know, I'm responsible for, once I get that email, going to the store, getting that Twix, and sending it off, mailing it off to the response, you know, to the panel member who's redeemed it. So we do add new reward, and what I'm going to bring up is just doing a default here. To add that Twix item, I just picked personal check, change this to candy bar, you know, change the text in here for the content, and change the image URL, right? Fulfillment email address would be me, and then I put in the number of points. So then it looks like this. The reason why I want to default, and make it easier for the user, just go to the default, put in their own image, and then it'll be good to go. Click add item to inventory once I run out. So you see I have bar 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. So I can go bar 5 and bar 6. Okay, just doing it like this, and if I add these items, it's going to go ahead and give me an item number. The system just automatically generates, you know, the random item number. And so now those are ready to be redeemed. Okay, and if I refresh here, so now I have 6 candy bars in stock. So when a member logs into the portal, they can see that, you know, candy bars are available, and they can redeem those for 25 points. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about profile segmentation. Here we can go ahead and create, you know, segments of our panel members. Of course, the more members I have in here and the more segments I have created, the more I can do. But as you can see, we can go in and create these segments. So we can go in and create it by state, city, our source, but as well as our single select list that we've created in our profile members field. You know, our gender, marital status, etc. These are all the other ones that I have added. So we can create segments here. When we do a new invitation, so we've created our panel, we've done our member profile, we set up our rewards and points, and we have something in inventory. Pretty much at this point, they are ready to go ahead and invite them to take the first survey, or, you know, say thanks for joining, or etc. You have a new survey that you've created and you're ready to send out the link. We can click new invitation here. Okay. We're going to select that survey. If they're doing, in this feature here we've added, they can do a custom survey URL. So if they're, basically they're being a provider, either, they're already, they're already a provider, or someone has sent them a sample, sent them a request to use their panel, so a sample request, then they can send out this way. URL link goes here and survey name goes here. Okay. And there's additional instruction here for the token mail merge. But otherwise, if they're just using their own survey, I'm going to use MS Test Survey. Default emails here. We can change our message, subject, the amount of points, and the survey length. The next step is where we get into the segmentation. Okay. We can enable a resting period if we like. We can change email address here. And then we can segment our profile field. So we can say, hey, we need this zip code, or hey, this custom source. Hey, we only want, for me, I had music genres. We only want West Coast. We only want females. We want them to have a Windows phone. Okay. We can even drill down more in there by sign-up date, last access date, or even last invitation date. Okay. And then we can do minimum and maximum on, number of surveys they completed, or number of invitation they've got, or even points that they've received. Okay, and then we can update that account to see, what that does, that segmenting does to our account. You see that, and I don't have that many members here, so that totally reduced my count to 0. So I'll go here, update count. Oops, something else. The phone question. Yeah. So now 6 members are available. Click next step. Okay. And here I can say, hey, I want to schedule feature delivery. I want immediate delivery. The notification options are more so particular to Survey Swipe. Of course, we have that Survey Swipe integration. The only time you're going to want to get into, the mobile stuff and the Survey Swipe stuff, I would say definitely if, that's a direction that they're going, or their potential Survey Swipe customer. However, we are, if you would see on the panel, we are now invoking that they can go ahead and download the SmartFound app. And so, if you have the panel, you're already getting your members prepped and ready for that, and they can see that there. And they can do things such as sending out a broadcast email to everyone, letting them know, like, hey, we do have a mobile application, or join our mobile panel if that's something that they're doing. Okay. So I think kind of, those, to me, those are some of the, those are the key points, of course, right? Creating your panel, setting up your profiles, getting your points and rewards ready, segmentating who you want to send out your invitation, and sending out that invitation. Those are going to be the key things for those people that you're selling to. Sales guys out there, Josh, Gretchen, James, Greg, Jen, anybody, what questions do you guys have in regards to the panel, or some of the features or things you've kind of been wondering in the back of your head, or you would like to see right now?
That last page where you were able to choose the phone it was sent out to? Not there, but the last page.
Oh, under the segments? That was just a segment question.
Okay.
That wasn't necessarily the phone. That was where we asked what type of phone that they had. So
okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Earlier, you mentioned that the profile type questions are stored separately than the actual survey type questions.
Right.
I thought there was a way that you can select a profile question on an actual survey. Is that not correct?
I currently know that is something that we're talking about, and I'm hoping it gets implemented. But go ahead, Esther.
Oh, I thought that there was the knowledge bank questions, and that is connected to the panel. Is that incorrect? It is available in surveys under the survey template.
Now, what Josh is asking, What Josh is asking is a little different than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you can't do that on all surveys. What we do right now is we pre-populate a bunch of questions in the knowledge bank that they can select. So it's a list of pre-populated questions we already have, but they can't do it from individual survey, because if the format or the structure of the question is changed, then that would mess things up. So we have, like, I created a bunch of profiles, questions that they can select from the knowledge bank. So that's how they can do that. But don't tell them they can get it from any survey, so to speak.
Right. So yeah.
Does that make sense, Josh?
So the answer is no. So basically, they have to set up profile questions in the panel and keep that separate from the survey that they sent out.
Actually, this is how you respond to that. They cannot do it like that on any platform, really. So it's not you. If you say no, you can tell them here's how it's done. But they cannot do it like that on any platform. They can run unlimited number of surveys, but there still has to be some format or structure that has to be followed in order to do that. I mean, they can backfill the questions to back to the panel, but that's a different process.
Okay, I haven't had any requests. I'm just wondering during my demo how I present that. If they're uploading, let's say they're uploading panel members rather than recruiting them, and then they wanted to send out one survey to that panel instead of two, just so they could send out their initial survey along with one or two profile questions. So.
And I have a question about that. So say you have two things. One, so you already have 1,000 or just say 100 emails that you want to invite to the panel. How would you go? What are the steps to actually invite those specific emails to the panel? Are you going to send them the link, that basically that home page that allows them to enter that, or can you send it a different way? Like, are you sending it via email? Are you sending it via new invitation? Like, here's a new invitation, join my panel?
If they're doing a bulk import, if they know they want to do a double opt-in, you can kind of enable that, and then when it comes in and have that message ready, it will go out to them, telling them, to opt in, etc. If it's a new invitation, or even if you just want to do it in an invitation standpoint, and send out that invitation to everyone once it came in, you could do it. You could do it that way. And then, once again, you could also do a broadcast email out to everybody, which I think's under
basically says like join my panel.
Right. Let me just remember where that's at. I always forget. No, there. Yeah. Anyways, you can do a broadcast. Basically, what the broadcast email allows is for you just to send an email to every panel member, and without a survey link, so you don't need to put a survey in there as well. That broadcast will go to everyone. Keep in mind, you can't segment the broadcast email.
So that would be perfect if you import the email, all the email addresses, and then you start off with a broadcast of like, hey, join my panel. Here's the link to join my panel.
Right. Yeah. You can. Yeah. Yes. Any other questions, Esther? Anybody? One thing I will say about the panel, as Redley said, and I will attest to that, he's done a great job of getting it to this stage and working with the dev team, and the dev team has done an awesome job. And there's new things happening every day, and new things, new updates. They are actively working on this and making some changes, implementing some new things, making sure help files are linking to where they need to go. So do know that we are making some changes. We're adding some features. We're making some of that vaporware work. And we're doing some other things such as, as you see here under discussions, that's something that's under development. Those things are happening. But then again, just as Andrew said, we're not the high end of the panels. We're at our price point. We're at our level, and hence the name micro panel. So, sell it accordingly, please. It makes the account manager's life easy.
I'd also say log in about a half hour before your demo.
I guess my last question is, so if somebody, so I'm just trying to think of the different customers that we should be proposing this to and the questions we should ask to kind of get it in their minds and thinking about it, just because we don't have a lot of people specifically calling us directly for a panel system. So for like e-rewards, for instance, a lot of people, they purchase sample from different companies, and then they need ways to reward their customers. So are the respondents. And that's kind of what I'm trying to tackle right now, because that seems to be across the board something that a lot of different companies are currently using. So what I'm saying is, please, upload your respondent list, whoever you have, into here, and instead of using a company like eRewards to reward those people, you could actually just do it yourself inside of our fulfillment center with Amazon gift certificates. So I just want to make sure, is that like a good way to approach it, or do you have any other things, for the sales team to kind of, help us with your experience, especially Rudley, just, what is the most common need for the rewards point system and so forth?
I think I was talking to Viv about this briefly. If you, and we're going to try to do something internally to identify clients, and Andrew may need his help there. I think the way to look at it is, think of the panel as a massive, elaborate Excel sheet that clients have internally, almost like a CRM application, really. If they have customers and it's more than 500, and they're not using a panel, and they're communicating with them, whether it's like a newsletter, they could benefit from a panel. So that means 3,000 people, 5,000, 500,000, they could benefit from a panel. The idea is to just organize, structure that database, and be able to segment, meaning conduct some queries based on the profile information they have, and sending out either a newsletter, or in our case, it's a survey invitation, and rewarding them for their time. So my target audience is usually companies that have an existing database of customers specifically, and it can even be very niche target, like 500 people. And those panels are more responsive. So if you're doing a demo for survey analytics and you identify the client, like for example Zynga, the minute I first started working here, I'm like, whoa, this company can use a panel. Career Builder can use a panel. Any firm that you talk to, you selling software, and they have large pool of respondents, even if they're purchasing sample outside of it, they can still use a panel. I think that's probably how I would approach it. On the incentive side, eRewards is also, I'm not sure when you say eRewards if you're talking about the company or the form of reward, because eReward is actually a company, a panel provider.
I'm sorry, the form of
reward. Okay, online, yeah, okay. In terms of reward, again, I would stay away from, the goal there is to make managing rewards efficiently enough so that they're not doing it manually. But I would stay away from using words like fulfillment, because we're not one. I try to stress that, and clients will want you to be one. Amazon.com is sort of like the de facto reward structure we have in terms of an API that's plugged into the system. Anything else we would have to review, but focus on the points, and anything else they would have to tie it back to our panel through an API for their respondents to redeem.
Okay. Thank you. Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, I think Rudley hit it on the head there. Especially if they're large or if they already have lists, etc. This definitely has potential for them, because yeah, like you said, it's like it's like a large Excel sheet. You're getting so much out of it. You're able to take that Excel sheet up a notch, and easily send out email notifications out to them, easily send out surveys, easily give them points or reward them if that's something that you want to do. Of course, this is why it's becoming heavy for the research teams and creating custom panels or niche panels. Those are some of the things that are out there. And then our ability to allow other people to be able to sample their panel, that may be attractive to some users as well. So there's a few different few different selling points. Is it's kind of listening to the conversation or figuring out where their company may stand. So there's different directions that you can go with it. Anything you want to add, Andrew?
No, I think it's a good point that we should explore when talking to people if they have, lists of clients or prospects. We are, incidentally, as I mentioned at the beginning, trying to ramp up specific panel leads. So hopefully you'll be getting things coming through that are referred from the micropanel website, so you know that they are panel. But I think that was a good overview. Thanks.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, Esther, I'll allow you to wrap this up.
Me? Well, I think Andrew got it all. So we're all good. Like I said, I will have a recording sent out to everybody via link. So anything that you want to go over and look at again, especially with some of the profiling stuff, how to, as you guys build up your own panels, that will be available to you by this afternoon. I do definitely want to encourage everybody to go into Demo 101 or in your own account to build your own panel as a way to kind of, took what we all learned today and really apply it. Because, for me, myself, I know the best way I learn is just by getting my hands dirty, and I'm sure there's lots of people the same way. So that's a great way to start, and hopefully, if you guys have other questions, we can be of help to you guys, and hopefully this will help to sell it. We are going to do a webinar on the 24th, so if you are planning to talk to people about it, tell them to sign up for it. I've got the blog out. I just have to have John look at it real quick. John and I are going to run it, and hopefully we can get some more leads for everyone, and we'll pass it over to the sales team once we get that list of attendees, or people that plan to attend. So we're going to be pushing that out today as well, so hopefully that will be a really great incentive as well. So that's all we have today, so thanks everybody, and I guess we'll talk to all you guys later.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
The